All right, guys, this is Ohana here in the top left corner. Oh, from Team Evil Genius's raid call, we have Stephano. I hope he's speaking on behalf of the SCV that's about to die. And over in the bottom right, Andre,
I don't know what he's saying,
we have from Team Quran 3 Sports Club, it is Lucifron.
Yes,
And Andre, fun fact is Lucifron and Stephano might have been teammates because EG did pursue Lucifron and Vortex even before the WCS Europe run. And I remember Rotterdam was the one making suggestions to EG. They were like, who should we pick up? Who's really good? And Rotterdam always says if Lucifron is the one is practicing and motivated and he has drive to play a lot of games, then Lucifron's definitely top 3 in Europe, and no one can contest that, especially his brother as well, Vortex. But Lucifron is always a man of so much potential. Good luck, have fun, Pedro.
Stephano, always the character. You know, he's the type of guy in real life. I feel like he's not super outspoken a lot of the times, but in chat and in game, I feel like his personality really shines, especially with his game style. And we've seen Stephano just be all around very strong. I mean, he doesn't really all in too much. He doesn't really go for that risky play. He just plays nice, safe, sometimes abusive economically, but nothing too risky, which is why I love Stephano's play. Lucifron's starting out with the command center first, by the way. Command center first is more of the standard. It's more powerful overall, but nothing too out of the ordinary for this game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Lucifron is a really good macro player, but he also has great harassment. That was the big focus on maps like Cloud Kingdom, like Ohana, that Lucifron's got great multitasking and able to really pick his opponent apart through non-stop Hellion run-bys, Banshee harass. His control, I just remember that Cloud Kingdom game so explicitly, or so vividly. Yeah. It just seemed like Stephano would never be able to come back. Yeah. But Stephano was able to still do Stephano, man, just climb back no matter how bad the situation looked.
That's right. I mean, Stephano has a unique thing, I think, that a lot of Zergs need to actually take, and that is the willingness to give up expansions. He's one of the only Zergs that I actually see going from base to base, swapping out his drones, always having them in transit, because he doesn't mind giving up bases at the expense of maybe position or, you know, taking your opponent's base. He doesn't mind switching off like that. And what's so good about him is that he cleans up the base. Like, let's say he lost this base, he cleans this up, makes sure there's no residual units anymore, and then retakes it almost immediately. That's something that's so cool and unique about Stephano's style. He's very fluid. He's like water, Frodan.
That's right. He's ever changing, and it's really tough to contain water, as everyone that's dealt with water pressure can tell you. Lucifron starting his factory, and no doubt going to start getting those Hellions out as soon as possible. And then from there, you can just kind of throw in some Banshees, not even have to commit to them. Some people like incorporating a lot of Banshees into their mech play, like maybe 6, 7, 8, and then really just harass any kind of roaches that are around the map, or even snipe some drones and bases, deny expansions. Or you can just kind of make 2 and then scale back and just really focus on your mech army and be able to harass a lot. We'll see where Lucifron chooses to go, but yes, just like I said, Andre, I would not be surprised to see him go for mech. Meanwhile, Stephano still getting up his queen, or early queens, but he's also gassing at the natural, which is a nice little rearrangement of things, because, again, you can mind game. If you scan the main, what do you see? You see no gas and a pool.
Absolutely. And on top of that, it's important to note that there's 2 gases. Now, normally it's only 1 gas. You take metabolic boost, and you right away go for your expansion. So I'm really interested. I was thinking that Stephano was going to do some sort of roach play, but it looks like double evolution chamber. I don't mind this as well. So he's delaying his 3rd base, making sure that he's safe via queens. You know, it could be that Stephano has prepared something for Lucifron that we haven't yet seen, because obviously he has a lot of experimental data with him with WCS Europe. He knows his opponent's style. He knows he's going to go to quick Banshees. And a lot of times teching very quickly is a nice little counter to that. The problem is the Hellions are already over at the 3rd base, so Lucifron should know, I should back off a little bit, not be so aggressive, because my opponent could be going 2 base Muta, and that's a very powerful style against the standard mech play where you get double armory.
Lucifron's going to poke up here with 4 Hellions, try to see if he can get him, but Stephano's queen is just fat enough. I bet she is very happy about her cake day yesterday. You can see Lucifron trying to poke in and just kill some drones here and there. Great defense thus far. Stephano already on top of everything, and the fact that no drones, oh, just kidding, a few drones went down, but only 3. Which is a very good start for Stephano just now. And of course, he's spreading his creep as well, making sure to increase his map presence. Stephano's last 10 series against Koreans, Andre, according to TLPD, he's won 9 of them against Korean Terrans. Sorry, and he's beaten people like Keen, Polt, Supernova, Tasia. Like this is all the biggest names in StarCraft 2 in terms of Korean power. And Stephano's beaten all of them in CVT. And people always say his Zerg versus Protoss is good. But let me tell you something, his Zerg versus Terran is also something special.
Oh, yes. Lucifron changing up, by the way. He is not going mech this game. Now, I like this response. A lot of times, people don't know whether to go mech or bio. I think Lucifron is actually making the snap call to switch over to bio a little bit later. Normally, especially when you do get cloak on your Banshees, you will go for mech, just because that cloak is a big opportunity cost. It could be stim, it could be +1/1, etc. But when you see your opponents on 2 base for this long, you're saying to yourself, well, you know, I might not be as effective with mech. It's going to be a lot harder to actually stop all this 2 base aggression, especially if he assumes that Spire is coming up. So let me switch over to bio, and that way I can have a lot more units out in the field a lot faster. And with that, I could probably take my 3rd base a little bit faster as well. Get the economic lead, and then the fabled 2-2 push would come into play, where Lucifron can just push out and deny 4th bases. That's a very, very strong way to play. And it's actually one of the main reasons why a lot of these Zerg players don't go 2 base anymore.
Well, something that I do like about Stephano is to handle the Hellion and Banshee harass is not only just a Spore Claw placement, the Evo Chamber placement was really cool to kind of force the Hellions into a small area and protect his drones. But now he's got this weird thing where he's got 3 Evo Chambers. And I don't think he's going to go for the triple upgrade, like Nesty style. Stephano also spreading his creep to his 3rd base and taking out the rocks. Just like you said, Andre, standard Marine tank is still a pretty strong composition. And we're talking about having those 2 Banshees, being able to control still the creep spread. And Lucifron's still on top of everything. And I guess at this point is really nice for Lucifron to just even start thinking about his 3rd base and really establish his presence. Stephano's still in the middle of teching, also adding on his macro hatchery, so his production is going to explode very soon. And I'm really excited to see where this is going, because Lucifron looks like he's harassing on point. He takes out 1 queen, and the 2nd Banshee is still doing some pretty good job poking here and there. But even sniping one of the queens is a nice job, because Stephano's going to continue to just spread creep as well as inject.
But, you know, we're already 11 minutes into the game, and the creep is still on Stephano's side of the map. That's a big problem for Stephano, and it's going to be difficult to actually do any 2 base aggression. And the main reason for that is because you normally need your creep to actually keep your 3rd and 4th base alive. That's the #1 way to actually survive these 2-2 pushes, or at least even the 1-1 pushes can be very powerful. But I don't think Lucifron is doing that. We can see 11 mutas on the way, but already, you know, 1-1 is about to finish. He has a good pack of Marines. He's probably going to have turrets in a little bit, maybe. I don't know. But his production, look at his production, Frodan. Just the sheer amount of barracks right now is enough to stop these mutas in their tracks. So we're going to see if Stephano is able to do any more damage. But I love this. Lucifron being so active with his units on the map. He is doing a great job at receding that creep.
Yeah, Lucifron's been really active. He doesn't have combat shields on his Marines, and this is actually quite interesting, even just stylistically from Stephano, because Stephano's a big proponent for Zergling Infestor compositions in ZVT. One of the very first to really push that kind of style out, especially on the European scene when Stephano was first breaking out. Yeah. Now Stephano's going to poke in here to the 3rd. How long is he going to stay on mutas? He already did commit to a +1 flyer carry pace. A little Marine poke snipes one of the queens as well, and Lucifron saves it with 2 medevacs. Very nicely done, because he's also deflected the muta harass at the 3rd base.
That's right, he's going over to the 4th base as we speak. The muta's finally going to give chase a little bit here, but you know, this might be a little bit of a powerful attack over here. The Hellions are going to fight some of the Zerglings, but no, the medevacs are going to go down here. Unfortunate for Lucifron. Oh, excuse me, Marine's getting to a perfect position,
man.
and Stephano, not paying attention, loses all of his Mutalisks. Wow, a crushing blow, Frodan.
Yeah. There was like 11, 12 Mulists on the field. Now only 2 remain. Stephano.
Yeah.
LOL is the correct 3 letters, I would say, in response to that situation.
Yeah. I mean, losing all your mutas are pretty drastic in that position. Even though mutas don't really constitute that much DPS in a fight, they're really powerful at actually picking off drops and more importantly, medevacs. I mean, during those fights, sniping the medevacs is so critical just to give way to your Zerglings, your Banelings, etc. But once you have like a continuing and gradual count of that medevac count, things get a little bit dicey, and you can actually see a lot of problems going into the later game stages. But we're going to see Stephano just massing up Zergling Baneling for now. Centrifugal Hooks is not finished.
Yeah, he needs more time. Infestors are going to pop out as well with Passion Glands. But Stephano's going to go before he even gets there because he needs to stop the tanks from being able to get a good position and gets the flank before the Siege Tanks are in position. Lucifron is moving back with his Marines as well into a very nice spot. Tanks do drop. Infestors also managed to land a fungal, but Stephano needs more actual assault units because he just has support. He only has a couple Infestors with energy. Gonna drop a fungal, but some of them are dropping. Lucifron still being very aggressive, still has medevacs pushing as well. But Stephano looks like he will manage to stabilize while getting his 4th base up. And man, that still looked like a really tight squeeze for Stephano, but he managed to defend Andre with a lot of his drones still up.
Yeah, and as you can see, the +2 weapons attack just finished at the perfect time, actually. So Stephano, he did have an upgrade advantage, but it's very, very minor. Lucifron already taking his 4th base as well. We're going to see a little bit of a counterattack coming in from Stephano, but this is giving up a lot of position. You can see he's going to lose his watchtower because of this. I don't think Stephano could have really contested this watchtower no matter. But it's still a big problem. How does Stephano actually deal with this? He doesn't have the army composition. He doesn't have really the Infestor energy, but Lucifron may be stepping up too fast.
Yeah, 2 tanks get picked off immediately. 2 more tanks under siege, but he's just going to go for the Zerglings instead, or the Marines rather. Well played by Lucifron and Stephano. I think the creep spread continuing was very key in general. Picking at a great time, but of course everyone knows the mutas. 1,000 resources, 1,000 gas, 1,000 minerals, and larva just thrown away to the Marines is not how you want to start off the series. But of course, maybe just warming up. It's you know, Stephano was a little bit late trying to get settled and everything. It's game number 1 of 11, Andre.
Exactly, and you know what? Let's be honest, mutas have been a little bit more popular lately, and it's because of mech. It's so powerful actually shutting down those Banshees, and on top of that, actually doing damage while, you know, a lot of Terrans are committing all their gas to both armories and upgrades and not anti-air. So maybe like 1 or 2 Thors max. They can't cover 3 bases. So mutas are really, really clever, but Lucifron knows that his opponent's on 2 base for a long time, says, okay, I'm going to go to bio. That's going to be a lot more effective to secure my 3rd base. From there, I can just do my regular aggression.
So Lucifron takes game number 1 in this best of 11 series. Camera 3 is this way, man. We doubled our camera count this last season, man. So I always get mixed up. We'll be back in a minute with game number 2 in just a short second. So don't go anywhere. More action from NASL and Take TV with the HomeCraft series is coming up next.